leaving Bloomington. Just drove through campus. This is nothing. This is just shops. Anyway, feeling weird, reflective, confused. I gotta go. Or, no, I'll do this thing that I do sometimes. Sorry. I suppose if I were in editing.
Continue
17. There. Not the most attractive view. An aging face. Mixed with Trumpian weight gain, as I call it, because F him and his judgment of the beauty pageant contest person, I don't even know what. The absurdity of someone as whatever he is, being in charge and dictating who is considered beautiful and who is letting themselves go. Maddening what a man like that does to eating disorders or to illnesses of any kind. It makes me want to like get plastic surgery and lose 40 pounds and be like, look, who told you? And then guess what? That would mean that he won. So it's like, it messed me up for years because I was like, oh, I can't even like get in shape without feeling like someone with that ideology won. Even though I probably would have enjoyed taking a little better care of myself the last few years. Sorry, I'm at a stoplight. Oh, now I'm driving. Alright, so I'm just on this road for a long while, so hence, you know, not really worrying. I suppose I gotta roll up my window so my phone doesn't go flying out of it. I just don't know. I feel like I just entered and exited a microcosm that I not only don't understand, but maybe would be better for me not to think too hard about. Having come from, you know, straight A culture, first chair flute, winner of piano competitions and scholarships and grants and fellowships that had me living in London for free for a semester, to leave that childhood and world and then become an adult who teaches almost the opposite. I don't know how to teach excellence. I don't know how to teach somebody to hate their own flow and hate their own nature in order to succeed. So I don't teach that way. I don't know how other people taught me that way. I cried a lot about it all. And so, like, I don't want to hate my own skills. I don't want to hate my own virtuosic piano playing that sometimes but sometimes that's because of my conservatory degree, but sometimes I think it's just from playing piano for a bunch of musicals and like learning to fake it on the fly. So it's really hard to know what creates what.
Stay in the left lane.
Thanks, Siri. Laser tag. So I'm about to drive on a pretty winding, pretty beautiful road between Bloomington, Indiana and Columbus, Indiana. Well, Edinburgh or Edinburgh. I don't know how they pronounce it here in Indiana compared to Scotland. Edinburgh, Scotland was one of my favorite cities when I was in college and getting to live there for free. Well, London, but traveling a lot because then I worked a housekeeping job and saved some money, and then all the money that I brought with me to London was fun money. 37 miles to Columbus, Indiana. And I get to go through Nashville, Indiana again, which was also, it's funny, they use a lot of names. I've never seen this anywhere except Indiana, but names of other like famous places. Like there's a Peru, Indiana, there's a Kokomo, Indiana. It's kind of like a fun, like a collector's adventure game to go to different places that are named after other famous places. I really like the name of this, Yellowwood State Forest and Brown County State Forest. Those both sound cute. So it's really stunning. It gets really windy, so I'll probably turn this off shortly, or I'll just let it run, and if it falls over, it falls over. I'm just not going to pay attention to it. So this is more like just talking to myself time. Just a winding road out of the town. I don't even feel like I was in a city. I feel like I was in an alternate reality/universe. I feel like if I were living in the middle of this kind of unknown place of Indiana, southern Indiana, but because of the prestige of Indiana University at Bloomington, at least as a music school, you know, thoughts go through my head like, I mean, they wouldn't have even accepted me as a student, let alone as a professor. So I don't know where my dreams start to explode and take root, and I just become kind of out of the blue kind of interested in success again. And it's like the way I oscillate between comfortable with so little, comfortable with a small studio. I don't like calling it a studio. I recently rebranded my school as the Creative Sky Music School. But it's, you know, it's a very creative way of teaching. I do teach out of method books on piano, but I'll also just teach you anything you want to know that I know. So if that's ukulele or random things on guitar, or how to transcribe songs off of YouTube, how to use scale degrees and chord progressions to understand most of modern pop music and play pretty much anything that your friends know and think is cool and popular. It's like, I don't care what we do. And that's not normal, I guess. That's certainly not a success. Or I don't know how to, in you, create the results that were created in me. I think I would have to be a different person to create the results that were created in me, because the way people got those results in me caused me to have to go against my nature. And I don't know how to self-motivate or self-create a business or a job that goes against my own nature. So it makes more sense that as an adult that I would have these skills, and that would be like almost like a fluke. But that I need to create businesses and systems and opportunities for myself and others that work with my nature and work with my strengths. And I highly recommend everybody doesn't waste their lives trying to be something they're not. I mean, not because I don't think we can work hard to achieve things, but because I think that we can work hard to become incredibly average at being like someone else, or we can take the things that we're well suited towards and refine those things, and we can become like the literal top of the food chain in the thing we're actually strongest at and have the most propensity towards. And that's probably where my regrets lie, that I didn't just take comfort and confidence in this sooner. You know, that I run a weirdo, creative-oriented kind of approach to lessons and teaching music, and that's not for everybody. But for the people it's for, I can keep being better and better and keep learning more and more how to be the best at what I'm good at and what my strengths are, and help those that are like me. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't even know what I'm supposed to do with my life, and I think part of that comes down to because I actually do know exactly what I'm supposed to do with my life, which is be a songwriter. There's just no clear path. You know, I don't even know why I make all these behind-the-scenes YouTube videos, because how often do I actually take one of these songs and then refine it into a song I would put on an album? Hardly ever anymore. It's more like this is just a muscle that I'm working out. It's like a songwriting sit-ups or something. But there's no point branding it any more clearly than it is. This isn't that watchable to the general public. This is just, if you're interested in my singer-songwriter life, or in what it's like to be someone who moves through the world as a creative, then maybe you find this interesting. So I kind of know what it feels like on a daily or weekly or monthly, depending how often I do these, basis. But I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of Adrian Lenker. I know I said that a couple videos ago. Unless I make these all into one video, then I said it earlier. But either way, oh, field of yellow flowers. Oh, I was gonna show you, and then I decided that wasn't safe. Well, and now you can't even see me. But that's okay, because the most important thing right now is driving safely. There's nobody behind me, but there is oncoming traffic. Now there isn't any, behind or in front. Sorry, Mom. I know I say that a lot. That's my joke with myself. I don't think my mom would care. I'm fidgeting less than somebody who changes the music. My eyes are on the road. Love you, Mom.
10 miles. Turn right onto State Road 46.
Sheep. Wow. This is very beautiful, but also, I don't know how to describe it. It's very simple. It's lovely. I just might never be back here, so I'm trying to really milk this moment, even though it's just a random 2.5-hour excursion while my boyfriend learns how to make popcorn at his parents' new popcorn shop, which I was helping out there this morning too, labeling bags and putting stickers on things, and I just feel suddenly very sad. I think I'm really, honestly, shouldn't cry and drive, by the way. Everybody gets mad at me for that, so I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna cry. I'm just feeling a lot of emotions right now, and I think that sometimes happens. Entering Brown County, leaving Monroe County. It feels very southern here, but like right on the edge, almost Appalachian. I don't know. I don't know what it reminds me of. Maybe nothing. Maybe that's why I feel a lot. I can't think of any place that I've been that feels exactly like this. Not Iowa. Maybe central Illinois, but I don't think so. I haven't been on a lot of off-roads in central Illinois or even in Iowa. I guess a little bit in southern Iowa to see my friend. And I've been east a lot as I've rambled recently. And even when we took side roads like in Ohio and Pennsylvania, it didn't feel like this. So I don't know what this feeling is. But I don't think my weepy feeling has too much to do with the topography. I think the weepy feeling is it's like a self-induced homelessness that comes from either not feeling satisfied where I am and what I'm doing in Grand Haven, or more accurately, I believe, because I don't think it has to do with satisfaction, not feeling at home. No, also not accurate. Not feeling, sorry, I just saw something that said TC Artist's Home. I wish I could put my finger on it. There's a word. I don't know what you think about destiny or fate. Where we're supposed to go and supposed to be. Those words feel so fake, you know? Like, is there a one true place we're supposed to go or be? I don't know. I know that we can bloom where we're planted, and I have been blooming like crazy in West Michigan. So there's that. Something else. Bambi Lane, cute. It's like I feel something sort of like strings attached to me, pulling me forward. I'm going through like a tunnel of trees that's really lovely right now. And they're not the same trees that you see in Michigan or Wisconsin. I'm from Wisconsin originally, but I've been in Michigan 8 years. And I grew up in Wisconsin and mostly lived in Racine between Milwaukee and Chicago. And then I lived my young adult life in Chicago. And I spent 2 years in grad school in New York City. So the weirdest of all of them, I guess, is Michigan, because the cities make sense because I was there for jobs or for school. You know, to have arts jobs in Chicago or to be in New York for school, but in Appleton, Wisconsin for a music conservatory and liberal arts college, which I picked just because it was a fun place. I had a good like freshman orientation before I was, you know, when I was picking between 3 colleges, they gave me the most scholarship money and fellowships and stuff, and I had a good orientation. And a small school was good for me in hindsight. And maybe that's why Brian has been good for me, because he loves small towns. And I had previously loved big cities, but I think that was just because I had gotten used to them. Because now I'm realizing, when we were driving south, his parents lived just south of Indianapolis, and the whole drive around Indianapolis was like white knuckle driving. Like, I wouldn't be making a video like this if that's where I was. Even though, I mean, I'm just talking to myself while driving. But, well, that driving is, I don't enjoy that kind of driving. Like 6 lanes and hot rod road racer types kind of swerving around people almost to make a point. I've been eating a lot of homemade popcorn from this popcorn shop that they opened, and it's so good, but my nutrition is a little off right now. So yeah, like these invisible strings pulling me forward. It's kind of like right now I'm on a trajectory that involves going from one place to another in a systematic way. Rainbow tropical plants. Aww. Hi, rainbow tropical plants. There's like apartments. It's so random. It's just, you know, hats off and kudos to everybody that lives a more rural life than me, or even if not more rural, then just like maybe less bouncing around, because I do wonder sometimes if that's what causes this feeling. Like, I now know people across the entire 50 states. I was gonna say across the entire country, but for any of my like international fans, I guess I want to really like let that sink in, that like our country is too big. Well, I shouldn't say too big, it's just very big. Our country, 50 states, is like 50 small countries in a way. And I have friends and connections and old jobs and old future dreams, all kinds of things kind of scattered all over this country. And you know, when I say I feel strings pulling me forward, it's like, do I know for sure that that's my actual future, or is it the feeling of having connected so broadly, so young in life? You know, by the time I was 22 or 24, not only like studying in all these different places, but then the people that I met in those places kind of spreading back out to where they were either originally from or to where a job was. And then that was like a good chunk of North America. There were people from Europe that moved to New York. There were just, it's just so many connections. It's not like you stay connected to all of them, but maybe in some like psychological way you stay kind of pulled by all of it. And maybe part of this is Facebook that's messed me up. Like, if I said I'm not going to go on Facebook, because I don't think Instagram has the same effect for some odd reason, and I kind of straddle the age range of like both worlds. I'm a little too old for like Snapchat. Like, I mean, I could do it. I did it briefly. Same with TikTok, but it's like not really for me. Even though I know some mom types do stuff like that, but like my way of being a mom isn't like, I don't have actual kids, and so some of the moms that do TikTok are actual moms, and they'll do little videos with their kids. Like, I'm not that kind of mom vibes. I'm like, happen to be old enough to be a mom now, but I'm not mom. I don't do anything mom-like, really. I don't know. Moms are cool, but I mean, I have one. I love my mom. My sister's a mom. My sister-in-law's a mom. Most people are moms, but most women, not most. I don't know. I'm just rambling. Hi, State Park, Brown County State Park. Well, I've stayed on this longer than I thought I would, but it feels like it would actually be weirder to push stop than to just let it run. It's very lovely. It's like if you mixed Hawaii with like cornfields. Or, no, I don't know. There's no cornfield. Well, there's some little spots that look farmy. Everything green and lush I always compare to Hawaii, but I think it's just, it always surprises me when I see something kind of hilly or tropical looking in the midst of something, of a place that I thought didn't have that vibe. But well, invisible strings. I'll speak what feels more true. That it just didn't feel that true. I just speculated that it might be that, but I don't think it's that. I mean, I believe in God. And I believe in things beyond our understanding. And I know.
Turn right onto State Road 46.
Turn right onto 46. Okay. Wow. Cool. Forest. I mean, the same way that some people believe in ghosts and love Halloween is how I believe in God. Like, I'm not saying I don't believe in ghosts. I do believe in ghosts. I just don't think it's funny or something to mess around with. I think that you can go from a person living a fairly boring life, fairly average life, to accidentally evoking something much bigger and much darker than you know how to process or understand, and now suddenly you will never live the same life, or if there's future lives and past lives, like, then you won't even live the same future lives that you were meant to or could have lived. I mean, you don't know what you're messing around with when you I don't know. I mean, like, I know people who like do Ouija stuff like it's fun, like an activity. Like, dude, get a gaming habit. Start overeating. Do something that's not that. Like, I'm not saying overeating is great. I'm saying there are a lot of things less potentially harmful than just randomly evoking spirits of the dead. Like, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know if that's going to bring destruction on all of your
For 16 miles, continue
ancestors,
straight.
past and future. I don't know if you've ever listened to Joanna Newsom, but I don't think time is linear, and I don't know if that view kind of came from her or came before I listened to some of her music, specifically Divers. But time does not feel linear to me, because I believe that we can undo code in our DNA somehow, either through prayer and meditation or through straight up forgiveness of people in our ancestry that caused harm. And I don't even know why I think this, but it just feels true, and it has felt true. Brown County Music Center. Sometimes sometimes I think when I make these videos, it's a way to lie. Like a way to soften my own truth. Like if I were just talking to myself and I knew that no one else was ever going to see it, if I'd be a little more transparent. And if by being a little more transparent, I'd actually learn deeper things about myself. Like the difference between journaling and thinking it's truly just for you, and journaling in a more performative way, thinking that it's like documenting the days and like Red Barn Jamboree, real country music. Country's one of my least favorite genres. It's such a weird mixture of happy and sad that I think it almost borders on saccharine for me. And I love folk music, but country like pushes it into a danceability that I don't relate to, perhaps. Like if I'm gonna dance, I want to dance, like pop, or I don't know, rock. I have no idea. Goodbye, Brown County Park. 16 miles to Columbus, Indiana. It's cute. Well, I guess I'm glad I'm not into evil spirits anymore, and that I say Psalm 23 and the Lord's Prayer a lot to try to stave off anything's interest in me. I used to keep that very much to myself because I thought that was embarrassing to be a songwriter who doesn't write Christian songs at all, but technically if I had to claim identification, then I certainly am Christian. I just think that Christianity's been corrupted in a lot of instances and places and cases, and I also get really overwhelmed by people, or rather I just don't know what I think and feel because I'm always more worried about what you think of me. And really when I say that, what I mean is I'm worried about how you're gonna feel in my presence. So when I enter a room, the reason I'm usually so friendly and smiley and always trying to say the right things to people is because I want other people to have positive experiences. But that's actually an incredibly draining way to live, and yet I do it without even thinking about it. I almost don't know how not to do it. I feel like not doing it would create karma. Like suddenly I'd be attracting people who are annoyed at me, or sick of me, or frustrated with me, or tired of me, or just have opinions about me. And I think because I've been so different from almost everybody I know ever since I was young, I'm slow and flighty. Well, I'm not slow. I'm mentally fast, but I am slow moving a lot of the times, and I can be scattered, I can get distracted, I can be very individualistic. I'm a lot of what Japan talks about for type B blood, which I have. B positive, which is annoying to a lot of people. I don't tend to go with the flow on a lot of things, and I don't even do it on purpose, and if I'm just being me, which I haven't done around other people in a long time. I don't even know how to anymore. And maybe jobs is what really ironed that out of me. Because when you work a job, you want to be approved of in order to get the raise or in order to not be fired, and that's probably where I first learned how to do this. Like if you knew that you weren't good at everything and that was part of that job, then the very least you could do is like overdo the kindness or overdo the likability. You know, if you figure out what it is that each particular boss likes and you kind of play that up, then when you're not as good at certain other aspects of the job, then it's like, whatever, that's just Jess. I mean, I'll bet that's a huge piece of how my personality developed. I think my mouth is really dry. I keep like sucking on the inside of my mouth. It's really weird. So I'm trying, or I try not to turn this strings pulling me forward feeling, which feels like it's by God or angels or the universe or karma or something. Hopefully not some sort of dark forces, but that's why I pray so much, because I don't trust that there isn't something after my soul. Sorry if that's super flippin' weird and hard to hear, but I think there are always weird battles at play. Gnawbone Creek Flea Market. Alright. This area is probably too rural for me, but I don't know. It's fun to explore, I guess. I don't know. I feel a lot of conflict right now. Oh, so what I was saying is I'm trying to stay out of...
In 10 miles, take a slight left turn to merge onto I-65 North.
10 miles to the highway. Okay. It's very pretty. So the sadness, not gonna cry and drive, high cows, high yellow flowers, high corn, high hilly looking hills with trees. The pulled forward feeling, it's like I've been feeling that since 2013. Bunny rabbits, $10. Cute. There was a sign. It had like a pumpkin patch. But then it also sold bunnies. Yeah, I think I just... In 2013, I got a divorce. I felt it was very hard to do. I was very enmeshed with that person in a very toxic way. The entire foundation of that relationship was me helping him. He wasn't really able to support himself financially or even just regular everyday things for a lot of reasons. Things that he did try to get under control, to be fair, but it didn't work, or he didn't try hard enough, I guess you could say, but you know, who's to say that that's how effort or addiction works? I mean, I guess I should be the most understanding of that of all people I know, because there are things that no matter how much I know they would benefit me, that I'm just not able to do or be. Or I just don't want to do or be. So, which could be what this ex of mine was up against, you know. As much as he said it was what he wanted to do and be, I think he really didn't. Because if he had wanted to change it, with the number of supports that were in place, maybe he could have. But anyway, not my story to tell. Or it is, but I choose not to tell it too much. But in 2013, when that happened, you know, me moving out and then all the paperwork and divorce and all that, I think that I don't know. It's like I knew I was supposed to find a new place. I could feel it. I could feel that it was like on me to do research and pick a place. And that the absolute last thing that I should do was just sit still. I remember that feeling. It was like I don't think it was even that negative. It was just like, well, I got a divorce. Of course I don't stay 1 hour from the place that I had only moved to a year before for him to be near his mother. Like, of course you don't just stay there. And it's a really, you know, if I had lived there for 10 years before that divorce, then sure. But I didn't. I haven't. And so, you know, to have been in that area now for 8 years, thankfully, 'Within a year, I mean, I found That sounds weird. But I met Brian, and we dated, and it was just very peas in a pod, and I was very drawn to him in a way that felt a lot healthier, obviously. But I feel like something about Brian and I, there's a lot of mutual healing going on with both of us. But now I'm to the point where I don't know exactly what happened. I think it was something about my Wisconsin trip, my most recent one, where I really dug some stuff up and healed some pretty big and pretty dark things. Or I didn't heal them. I don't know that we can heal. Maybe God healed them, or just had maybe prayers answered or something. But now I don't really feel drawn to the idea of using my life to heal my past. That feels like, I mean, I could say it so many different ways. Been there, done that, or like a waste of time, or like there will always be more to heal. And everywhere you go and live, you're going to get new wounds. So then do you go back into those wounds and keep exploring those wounds? I mean, do you just devote your whole life to waiting to see what hurts you and then healing? Or to analyzing what hurt you in years 1 through 18 and devoting, say you get to live till you're 90. Do you devote all the years from age 18 or 19 all the way till 90 healing anything that went wrong in those early years? I think it's different to heal versus to like transcend. And I'm at the point now, and I don't know if me and Brian are at the exact same point, and maybe he's been waiting for me. I mean, I don't know. I dig up past stuff way more than I think he does. We're very different in how we deal with it. I don't know why I'm telling his story. Wolf Creek. His last name means wolf. Anyway, but exploring past is very different than, you can clean out the wound, but that doesn't need to be a multi-year project. Like, it's not, yes, there's the idea that slapping a Band-Aid on it or sweeping it under the rug is bad. And I remember when I developed that philosophy and realized it was toxic. And so I don't like just sweeping something under the rug and ignoring it, because it still comes out sideways. You still end up being confronted with those issues that come from those wounds. But you can clean out a wound quickly, slap a Band-Aid on it quickly, or really good, hospital grade surgical glue bandage. I don't know, but like, it doesn't need to take up your whole life and then some. And that's what I had been believing and selling, was this idea that we just have to like explore the past and explore our wounds and constantly be in healing mode. Like, what about progress mode? What about growth mode? What about making constructive changes that alter the pathways, not just like the real pathways, like the roads, but like the neural pathways? Like, I feel like rewiring my own brain, and like, so maybe that's what I mean when I say I feel strings kind of pulling me forward, is like something in me, for the first time ever in my life, I just saw a hawk or an eagle or a condor or something. I don't think it was an eagle. Anyway, for the first time ever in my life, I do feel something trying to just, not even trying, it's just rewriting. It's like code rewriting. It just feels very matter of fact and very simple and very just like XYZ. Just do this, do that, do this. And like, the thing about it that I don't like, the only thing about it that I don't like, is this feeling like I'm supposed to, I don't know what barometer to use to move forward. When you're exploring your own past, you can use resonance, which is kind of like feeling for ghosts. Like, say you go into 3 houses, and say you're a really sensitively wired person, you can feel which one feels kind of haunted. It's like just a feeling. There's like a thick feeling in the air. And I don't know why I used ghosts, but I'm just saying, like, I think any sensitively wired person is going to feel that, like presence in a space or lived inness. Same with if a place has been very, 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 very loved. Or maybe if objects have been very loved. So like, if in the past my way of feeling my way through life was to feel for things like that and then try to heal them, whether it was my wounds or other people's, then I became like an expert at that. But what I think I'm not an expert at is what barometer do you use to make choices about an uncarved block of wood future or an uncharted territory forward in uncharted lands of your own life? Like what feeling do you use as a guide? What mental state do you use as a guide? Like, I literally don't know. Do you just use logic? Do you just say, well, here's these places on my way to my sister's house in Colorado, and I'm gonna just stop here and here, and I'm just gonna be really nuts and bolts about it, real logical, and then I'll stop at these places on the way back?
Take a slight left turn to merge onto I-65 North.
And is that it? Is it just something really simplistic like that? And if you end up finding a feeling of a calling to somewhere, then you follow it? But if you don't, you just wait? I don't know. This is way beyond my understanding or knowledge of how people move forward, how people progress. I think it's more logical than anything I've ever done, and maybe that's why I might not even end up liking it. Just go back and heal some more things. Heal from having considered pursuing life in a different way. Heal from trying to move on from healing. Go back and heal from that. Anyway, I'm getting on the highway. Goodbye.